Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's Sunday, May 23rd, 2021, and we are back for another session of live readings. I hope everybody is well. Please like and subscribe. I have a few new subscribers this week. Welcome, welcome. And I have, of course, my old trusted supporters. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, what have I been up to? I've been doing this. I joined this women's empowerment circle, drumming circle thing on Friday nights through Zoom. And it's been a really cool experience. And it's a really great group of women. And it's just nice to connect with people a little differently and people that I would not meet otherwise. And just have like authentic connections with. I know we tend to get into a lot of like really surface connections with people, and I sort of get bored with those. I've said this a million times, that I really hate small talk because people are so much more interesting than they allow themselves to be. And I'm always like, I can feel it in there. Let's get it. Like, I don't really care about all the stupid stuff you're sharing. Anyway, so that's like been cool. And it was really cool because my April, my 4-year-old woke me up Saturday morning. It was kind of early. And she goes, "Mommy, there's a man here. And I can hear drums in my head. I can hear him drumming in my head." So, and since it's a drum circle, I thought it was kind of cool. And we've been talking about how my middle daughter will see things. We talk about seeing spirits and seeing sparkles and stuff. And my youngest one's like, "I'm not spiritual like Daisy." And I said, "Yes, you are. You're spiritual. We all have our different gifts and we get them in different ways. And you'll figure out how you get yours." Hi, Allie. Thank you. I didn't get tanned. Maybe got a little sun yesterday. We went to Six Flags here in Jersey, and but I wear like tons of sunblock because, like, for real, y'all. I mean, I'm either white or lobster. Like, that's it. There's like no in between. Hi, Goddess Love. I'll check for your thing. So hi, Sonia Rain. Hi, Heather. So we went to Six Flags anyway. I just thought it was cute that my daughter woke me up, and then we went to Six Flags all day. I was like, y'all, it was hot. It wasn't like Houston hot or Texas hot. Texas hot sucks. It's like Florida hot. It's just humid and nasty and muggy. It wasn't like that, but it was hot, and whatever. But the kids had mostly a good time. There was a lot of line waiting. Spent a lot of time waiting in lines. But it was good. And I'm having fun kind of like really focusing on, and I highly recommend this to y'all. You know, I'm all about manifesting and really like your mindset and where everything's at. And I'd like this new guy that I found. Doesn't mean I don't like any other people. I'm just kind of into him right now. Call me a jumper, whatever. But Dylan James, his channel, because he really, and I always say this to you guys, focus on yourself, right? I always say this. So he really is all about like, he focuses on like relationship kind of stuff, but he's always like, focus on yourself. And so I bought like headphones I can sleep in. That's like a headband thing. They're like $20 on Amazon. And I've been like listening to his night things and having like super weird dreams, like my ego coming out as a demon. So I had to talk to her anyway. So, Six Flags is fun. It is fun. And my oldest daughter's kind of in that in between because she's sort of growing out of some of the kiddie rides. She's gotten too tall for some of them, but she's too little for and not ready for all the big ones. And I think I would probably have to take some Dramamine or something because I get motion sick so easily. And my thought of doing hypnosis and having my mentor do it, he doesn't do that anymore. So I got to figure another plan, but it'll come to me, right? All right. So that's enough of that. Please like, please subscribe, please share me with your friends because I don't really advertise. I'm just sort of in the mindset that the universe will bring me who needs to come to me. And so that's how people find me. I don't normally do readings on Sundays, but I did do 2 readings today for a couple of lovely women, a mother and daughter, not joint. They were both individual, who heard about me through some other people, and they were visiting and having a little get together. So I squished some time into my day, and then my daughter had her piano recital, and now we're here. So let's do this. I will check, Julie. So is everybody well? Everybody's happy. Oh, I put sunblock on that has I started doing a little bit of tint in it. So that way, because I do like 2 different base sunblocks because I really have fair skin. I burn super, super easily. So I put but the base one, when you use the mineral, you look like, I look like a mime. And I have to wash in the hairline because my hair is so dark. It looks like I have gray hair, way in here. So then I put one on that over that has a little bit of a tint to it, but it's really slight, but I guess it's got that Jersey glow. You know what I mean? All right. See, again, I like to crack myself up. It is life. Okay. So let me check the caramel apple. I say caramel, but it's probably caramel. It's that thing where I grew up and it was like caramel in Texas. I don't know. Maybe I just always say it wrong. Okie dokie. So I never put accurate, but I'm like, let me just try this little keyword here and see if it brings anybody in. Cause y'all, it's all about the algorithm gods of YouTube and every other place, and whether or not they want to love you and send people your way. All right. So I have, all right. Miss KK, please love and send energy and good stuff to KK, because she is a rock star and I just adore her. I'm really, really lucky with all of the wonderful people that come in here and keep showing back up. So, luck is on my side, I suppose. Okay. So after Devery, I have Joanne, I have Farah. And Devery, thank you for the sweetest words. I want to make mention of this really quick. Lorraine, Caramel Apple, and Miss Julie Owens. Goddess Love, I don't know which one you are. So Miss Devery, there's a portion of what she said. She sends me these sweet little notes. Not that you all don't, or you have to. You don't have to. She just does this, and I love it. And she always says really nice things. And she said, after a whole bunch, but she said, thanks again for being my friend, advocate, in a sense, transparent, and truly genuine with respect for us as individuals. I know some of us like myself can give you a headache, but you're a warrior and strong. Stay blessed and keep being you. So I want to say this to that. First of all, thank you, because that is really kind. And it's always nice to, because I kind of am I'm just going to keep doing my own thing and following my own path and not do the easy get with the tarots. Although I want to do that teaching tarot thing. I need to carve out time to film it. And I haven't figured out a way. I think it's a learning curve for me on editing and doing everything. So I'm working on it. I really want to do that where I include it as when you subscribe to my my website, then I'll send it a weekly here's a little thing, and you can only get it if you have the link from the email, and it would link you to the YouTube channel if you have the link, can you watch it? So I might do it like that, or I'm going to try and do it where it's a weekly instead of a daily, because there's just zero way right now that I can do any kind of daily videos with 3 kids, 2 at home doing virtual and entertaining my 4-year-old while they're doing virtual and troubleshooting all of that. That said, I never have a headache about any of you guys. I never feel this is the worst thing ever. I like connecting with you. I enjoy being able to share my gift in this way, in a way that maybe you wouldn't be able to afford a private reading. Maybe you just need some kind of spiritual connection. I want you to understand that you can be empowered and you can take control of your life. And there are people who do the mindset stuff that are oh, psychics and this. Well, maybe I'm just, for psychic wise, maybe I'm just setting into your path of where you're at right now. But I definitely am picking up medical stuff, and I'm definitely picking up loved ones who have crossed over. So there's more to that. It's not always just a black and white answer of this is what it is. But I'm really happy that I get to use my gifts in this way. So you're never a headache. I worry about you guys. I love you guys. I send you energy. In fact, someone who asked about a car, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, just oh, I wanted a BMW. I don't even remember who it was. I gotta be honest. But I was out and I'm it's either going to be an Audi or a Lexus, because I saw those 2 cars and they were the same color as what I saw in my head and sort of the same shape. So it's either going to be an Audi or a Lexus, not a BMW. I hope that's okay to settle for that. Still great cars, still high end. But I enjoy what I do and I get information about all you guys. So it's not a headache ever, never, ever. So just know that. Okay, Miss Goddess Love, what is your, let me see. Let me scroll down and see what everybody said. Oh, the beach. Love it. Okay, I speak my truth. I just need to see, look at the names. I got Caramel Apple, I have yours. Because if you don't let me know what your screen name is on here, then we have to play the like, I don't want to give away your personal information, but we might have to give away your personal information. Not like your address or anything, but okay. Okay, so after Julie Owens, I have New Me Hoodis on YouTube. That's a mouthful. All right, y'all. Oh, Allie, you were the one about the BMW. Okay, so it's it's either going to be I think a Lexus or an Audi, because it was like the shape of the car was right and the color was right and it felt like kind of interesting. I don't know why I was getting the what was the car I got? Chevy Nova. All right. Are we ready, SpaghettiOs? Let's go. All right. All right, Miss Heather. So if you don't see your name in the list yet, can you type what your name is that I'm going to be looking for on the PayPal? Sometimes there is a little bit of a delay, but it doesn't mean that I don't get it. It's just sometimes there's a delay. So if you say I just paid, here's the way that gets you around that. If you go to my website and you join my mailing list every Saturday or earlier in the day on Sunday, I try to do it on Saturdays. I send out an email and it has a links for you to pay early. So you get on earlier on the list, you make sure you get your payment in and there's not that worry of, did you get my payment? It's an easy way to do that. I send out one email a week. I really, really despise when I join people's email lists and like, yeah, I want to know about what you're doing, but I don't want to know about what you're doing every 3 days or every 2 days or every day. Like, I don't care that much. Same thing with like stores. Like, please don't send me 15 emails a day about your sale. I could give two shits. Sorry. I just think it's like over. So I send you one. And even if I'm doing something, I try and update it in that one email and give it like, that's it. Like, I don't want to, I don't have the time to set up 18 million emails. And I know that you can schedule them and everything else like that, but I don't have the time to even do that. And you're not going to read them. So what do I need to know about my life right now moving forward? And what will my finances look like in the near distant future? Okay. All right. Generally, what does Miss Heather Churchill need to know about right now? So it feels like we're going to look at career more wise for you. So what they're saying is we need to focus more on our goals. We need to focus on where we're going and where we're headed and put our feet 1 foot in front of each other, in front of another. However you walk, you need to do that, because what happens is you're sort of focusing on what you don't have and what the lack is and what's missing and why isn't it here yet? And, oh, I want to be here, but I'm not. And sort of in this comparison mode. And they're sort of saying, stop that. Just get into this tunnel vision of this is where I'm at. Stop worrying about where everybody else is, why you're not there. Well, like maybe if you graduated with the same degree as somebody else and they're already here and you're not, and why am I not? Just stop. They're like, really, really focus on where you want to be, and just setting the intentions of the universe, constantly showing you the way and putting you on the path, even if you're not even aware of what the steps are. Just like, it's like even if you know, like say they're like, you get an intuitive feeling to go start a YouTube channel or go to the store, go to a specific store. Well, I don't know what that's about. Well, I happen to on the way see a sign and it's like now hiring, whatever. And that's like would be the perfect, whatever it is. Maybe you run into somebody. It's like, just trust that they're always putting you on the path to what it is that you want and not worrying if they're doing it. They are. I'm being pulled to like September, October being a significant time for growth for you, especially in career. They're saying the industry, so I don't know what that means, but because all I'm seeing is like the little fall kitschy, like decorative stuff, like corn and like the, when they have the multicolored corn. Sorry, I'm like, stop. Why am I being brought to is there an issue with this is my left thumb. It might be your right thumb, but sometimes I get that wrong, but your thumb. Is it Tiara or Tiara? I knew a Tiara in college. She was a lot of fun. I do have it. Okay, so after Amber, I have Tiara and then Marlon. Marlon has a different name, I think. Marlon, do you have a different name on here? Thank you, dear. So Heather, does this make sense when I'm saying this to you? Like, it's just like in constant comparison. And then something about the fall. Your screen name is Mar. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so Mar after Tiara. Tiara or Tiara? Can you write air or R? Tiara. Tiara? Oh, I don't remember the second way. Put AIR or ARE. Okay. There is something, so the fall would be when you might change something. So maybe an opening comes up that puts you into something else. I don't feel like, so maybe it's getting the different certification that you're wanting, but putting one foot in front of the other. So instead of worrying about like, oh, look at my friend's certified for here and I'm not, or they're making X, Y, and Z dollars and I'm not, and I'm in the wrong school district, whatever it is, there's something where you're sort of doing a comparison. Fuck, I did it wrong. There's a delay. So just put AIR like air or ARE like R and I'll figure it out. Sorry. Era. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Tiara. Thank you. We get it figured out eventually, right? Even though there's this like little, you can make these work. So what I feel like is there's something, but there's room for you for growth. I don't feel like you're going to stay in a classroom necessarily. Or the classroom you're in. So maybe it's getting a certification to do a different type of teaching or to be like the licensed special ed person or the licensed ESL person, like whatever it is, I have a different certification. So it puts me into a higher pay grade, but it feels like stop looking around and seeing what everybody else is doing, or stop looking around yourself and like, just focus on you and what you're doing, what you need to do. And the change may come in the fall. That way, maybe why I'm seeing things like little decorative things. Lauren Jane is on here for one after Mar. So my goal tonight is to not be here for 2 hours. So I'm trying not to. And then finances. So I feel like in the next 2 years, sort of staying about the same, maybe having a little bit whatever, but I do feel like a pay raise in 2 years from now. So I'm looking at you, just you as your career, not you as a family unit. And I feel like your pay will go up in 2 years. And then again, so I really do feel like you'll, even if you don't think that you are, you may end up in like an administrative type position. So one of my best friends from college, she started out as a special ed teacher and did all that, but then she was like going back to school. And she's now like, she ended up moving school districts as like a director of a large area. So it's like, I don't think that you'll necessarily stay exactly where you're at. I would say in 3 years, there might be the move. I don't know. There's going to be a shift for you. You're not going to just stay where you're at. Lexus is the up version, I think, of the Toyota. So they're pretty reliable cars. Just like Acura is a Honda. I like reliable. What can I say? Does that make sense when are you looking at doing administrative work, or are you looking like at thinking about doing some sort of certification? This light, I really need to like, right. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that answer, Laura H, if you want to go ahead and type yours, or Starry Sky, if you're here. How are you feeling? How's your eye? Yes, with flying colors, Laura H. The other thing I want you to do is like, I want you to put in your mindset. So I feel like with flying colors, of course I passed this. Like, of course, like this all comes to me easy. This is all really easy. Like, put in your mindset and see yourself and like telling someone that you passed with flying colors and you were so excited, like, and you just knew it. It's like, really put it in there that you know it. Don't doubt yourself. If everything is already done and everything is, it's like, of course it's done. Don't have any doubts at all. Much better. Oh, yay. I'm so happy. My wife Nancy is having colonoscopy and endoscopy outpatient piece Wednesday. Hopefully they do the top first and then the bottom. You know what I mean? Just kidding. Of course she's having anxiety. Okay, first of all, the prep for those are like horrible. She will totally be safe through this procedure. Everything will be fine. She's going to be miserable through the prep work. The procedure is going to be like, she's going to be so like, by the time she gets there and they like put her under, she's going to be like, whatever, but the prep is going to suck. I see endoscopy looks clear. There might be a little irritation. Has she ever had like a test for H. pylori? And then I feel like a little polyp maybe towards the rectal, like the rectal part of the rectum, because it feels like right on the edge there, but otherwise I feel clear and looks good. The prep work sucks. When I was in nursing school, I was a student nurse intern and I worked nights at the hospital. And I had this little old lady who she came to do her prep work because I guess she lived alone. And so it was just, they wanted to have her there. And then she was prepping for a colonoscopy in the morning. And I had to get her a bedside commode because she couldn't, like, she was so weak. She was this little tiny thing. She couldn't make it to the bathroom anymore. I felt so bad for her. So like, I always have like this really big soft spot for anybody who has to go through that, because it's like, it's miserable. And they have better stuff like before, She'd have these big, they'd have to drink all of this stuff where you're like, but it's like, it's better now. It's not quite the volume. They have ones where you don't have to do quite the volume. She'll wake up. She'll be fine. She'll wake up. She'll be fine. She doesn't have to worry about that. I just think she's going to be miserable doing the prep work because it is miserable. Let her know that it's actually okay to eat. Because my husband turned 50, so he had his colonoscopy this year. It's okay to eat, which I didn't know, vanilla pudding, like the day of, like for 24 hours, they tell you like not to eat, you know, like you can't have, God dang it. Oh, I knew I should have sewn that. I sewed one part of it. Oh, the last time, here, let me try it again. My little button fell off. So I sewed my button on and then I reinforced the elastic loop. Let's see if that holds this time. Okay. I know you like looking at my armpits. Anyway, but you can have like, you can't have like yellow, you can't have red, orange, or blue Jell-O. And my husband was like talking to him. He's like, well, what other kinds does anybody like? Like really, I think there's a white grape Jell-O, which you can have. But you can have, he figured out, he read somewhere you can have vanilla pudding. And then you're MPO for 8 hours beforehand or something. But that's okay, Mary. How are you feeling? I hope you're well. I'm happy for anybody to join whenever they want to join. But she'll be fine. It's going to go easy. So again, I just felt like a little bit of a polyp. And then I felt like an irritation, like a redness in the esophagus. But it doesn't feel like it's like, I don't feel like it'll be a major concern. Maybe they'll put her on like a Reglan or a Zantac or some kind of beta, some kind of a H blocker or whatever, whatever they are. Acid blocker. I can't remember. You're welcome. Let us know. Okay, Linda Drost, Allie, and Sonia Lee. Allie and Sonia Lee, you each have 2 questions. And I will check if anybody else is on the list. Shaheen, I saw that you paid, so I'll double check. And there was a couple people that said they paid. If you could just, okay, I have Shaheen on here after Lauren Jane. Okay, got you. Let me just see. There was a couple people that said they paid and I didn't see their name pop up. So I want to make sure I'm looking for them. If you could just put the name that would be associated with your PayPal, that would be fantastic. Oh, I have a Lauren. Oh, got Lauren Jane, got Shaheen. Okay, I'm going to tell you who I have already. I did Laura H. Did Starry Sky. I've got Linda Drost. Linda Drosy. Sorry, dear. Linda Drosy. 2 questions from Allie. 2 from Sonia Lee. Alan Ryan. Thank you, Dan, always for supporting me. Devry. Joanne. Farah. Lorraine. Caramel Apple. Julie. Numi Who Dis. Tierra. Mar. Shaheen. And Lauren Jane. Now, who else said that they paid? Ellen says, I have to leave. Okay, go ahead and ask your question now. Go ahead and ask your question now. You're only a couple away. No, Ellen, ask your question now. Let's do it. I don't know what time it is. I don't have a watch on. It's on my computer. How smart is that? You would think I used to save lives. Message for your birthday and the upcoming year. So you want like me to skip 6 months and just go out there or what? We still have 6 months left of this year. That's fine, Allie. Go ahead and ask your questions. I'm going to answer Ellen's first. And then Linda Drosy, you're up too. Okay, so this one is for Ellen R. What is she? What will the upcoming year be like? Let's look for 12 months from now. So one that I keep feeling like, and I just want you to validate this so if I can scoot into the rest of their thing. But so this is what I'm getting. Let me know what it feels like. I've had this feeling of being like light and kind of airy. So I do feel like you're connecting into your intuition more, because they made me feel like, and they also said you're coming into your own. And I feel like that's related to coming into your own as your intuition, and also into your own empowerment and standing in your own, and like really advocating for yourself and setting really healthy boundaries, and like coming into this place of like embracing yourself. But I also do feel like, because like, so it feels like in the next 6 months, like really sort of healing some anxiety issues. Do you have anxiety? Are you suffering from anxiety? Because it just feels like learning to reacclimate or come back to me back in. And I also feel like your clairaudience is opening up, because I feel real like I'm really pulled to my left ear here. And your left side is your receiving side, right side is your giving side if you're doing energy healing. So I sort of threw that in my vocabulary recently. So there are a lot of things that we have that I didn't realize. I was doing research on for something, and it kind of came up for anxiety, but it came up where I was like, oh, I do that. I guess that's considered anxiety. I would have never thought of that. So it's like, feels like there's like these little things that happen that we don't really consider as anxiety, but they are like social anxiety stuff, where like I can go out in public and be fine or whatever. But for a really long time, I would like come home and be like, oh my God, did I say the wrong thing? Did I do the wrong thing? Blah, blah, blah. Like I would like replay in my head and always be worried about it. So it wasn't like the pre or while I was there. It was like I'd get home and have the issues from it. Or space cadetting out when people are talking. That's actually like a sign of social anxiety. And I would do that a lot. And I'd like feel really guilty, like, oh my God, why didn't I? Some of that I think was also I was having precognitive dreams and like jumping into different points and whatever for that. That's another huge explanation. But some of it was like, and I wasn't aware of it. So it's sort of like getting over that in the next 6 months, like really taking hold of all of that stuff in there and like getting over that. So I don't see like any, right. Yes. Who isn't afraid, right? But let me just tell you something that's like one of those things that like this circle that I started doing on Friday nights. It's like, it's great because I'm just like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, is like, just be like, this is who I am, and have like zero like guilt about it. And so it's really nice because it's like, again, it's really authentic connections. And you find out like pretty much everybody's kind of going through the same stuff you're going through, or can relate or has been there, you know? I get it. First of all, you're not supposed to reveal everything about yourself in the first few seconds, make people earn it kind of thing, but a little bit of skin never hurt. You know what I mean? I don't feel like a giant career change or anything else, because I'm like, do I see any of that kind of coming up? And I don't feel like a big, like, I feel like status quo is that. It just feels like over the next year doing a lot of internal growth and internal expansion and sort of really embracing who you are. That's sort of going on in a really big collective way, is people starting to like really embrace who they are and like kind of heal from within. That sucks, Allie. So again, I'm going to refer you guys to, because I really like his stuff and I like the inner work stuff. I just lost his name in my head. It'll come to me when it comes to me. Anyway, doing the self-concept work, healing all of that. But to me, it feels bigger too. Like you're going to be doing a lot more intuitive work. Have you been working on opening up, or are you noticing any difference with, so clairaudience, how it usually starts to open up when you're in the very beginning is like where you notice it. Cause a lot of times you'll hear stuff and not recognize it as that. But, where you notice it is like, as you're drifting off to sleep, you might hear somebody call your name or hear hello. Yes, Dylan James. God bless you. See, I told you it would come to me. I'm writing it down so I don't forget again. I really like him. He has such lovely energy too. Like, and he's just like, I'm like, oh, I could be his friend. Like, there's certain people where I'm like, oh, I could be their friend. We could be friends. We have the same like wavelength. You meditate and do self-Reiki, but really have not the kind of experiences you mentioned. You will. All of that's going to open up. I do feel like you need to Reiki your throat chakra a little bit because it does feel a little blocked. So this is where like the healing work is going to come with setting boundaries and doing all of that stuff over the next year. Like, so again, I wish I could be like, you're going to win the lottery and like your whole world is going to change. And I see helicopter rides, though I do see you like spending some time in nature, like either like a camping thing but cause I just saw myself like kind of sitting in a chair and like, I felt more like, I don't know if you've ever been to Muir Woods in California, like the Redwood, northern part of California area, like that kind of a feeling of being out in nature and spending time in nature. I don't know if it's like full on camping or if it's like cabin camping where you stay in a cabin and then you spend a lot of time hiking during the day. That's the kind of camping I've done. Though I've been thinking about recently, like I might be into more full on camping because I have less insecurities about whatever, my hair, one, like, you know, people with straight hair, it's like you can do cute things with it. And like when you're like hot and humid, you just have like full on Shaka Khan hair when you have curly hair. So it's like totally different experience. I don't know if it's a job that you're going to find doing it or if it's because I didn't feel like a big job change, but I did see you spending more time. So maybe it's on your days off, you're going and, you know, doing like little long weekend getaways or whatever. Yeah. Heather knows my pain. My little one, she has curly hair like me, like really like tight little, her hair's lighter than mine. All my girls are blondes. Tight little curls. And she was like, Mom, I don't like my curls. And I was like, oh, but I love your curls. And you know what? At least I know how to fix them because my mommy and grandma didn't know how to fix my hair. And so like they would like brush it out. And then when I was like 6 or 7, they cut it real short. And they're like, that was the look. I'm like, I look like a dude. So I was a tomboy. And then they cut my hair like a dude's hair short because they were like, you didn't know how to fix it. I'm like, it's curly hair. I need something. They cut it really short and I like looked like a little boy and it took forever to grow out. I'm not going to do that to my kids. Refuse. You will have contact with nature. That's what they're showing me. So, so it may be like where you're on the weekends, you're spending more time in nature or something like that. But I don't see a job change within the next year. It doesn't mean it wouldn't happen after that, like in a year and a half, but within the next 12-month period, I just don't see that. Thank you, Starry Sky. It took me a long time to be like, I got my hair, occasionally I used to, since COVID happened, I don't, but I would get my hair straightened when I got it cut, I would let them straighten my hair. But like curly hair is my personality now. So it just is what it is. Oh, you have really fine hair then. You can't do braids? I wonder if you put like some powder in your hair, if it would like, I know that sounds weird, but I don't know why that I just saw that like as putting like some kind of powder in your hair and then it would help it like stick to braids. Whatever. Oh. Okay. So that was Miss Ellen. And happy birthday, Ellen. I hope you enjoy your solar return and that you just have a great day and celebrate and have really an amazing year too coming up. And if you want a job where you work in nature, manifest that shit. Look, remember what I'm seeing is a snippet of the energy post you're in right now. So right now, energetically, you're not in a place where you're going to be changing jobs. Can you make that happen? Sure. I've had people tell me readings where they're like, this is the timeline. And I'm like, not for me, it's not. And I decide and I shift my thought process and shift the energy and change the timeline. Okay, so Allie, your question, let me find it. Because I saw you write something. At least I thought I did. Oh, a general about my future husband. Okay. So Allie's husband. And then we're going to close the list just because it's really like I've got a lot here and we're already pretty far. So if there's people that paid already, said they paid, you're still on the list, even if you don't see your name here yet, just let me know. After Lauren, after Shaheen, I have Kurt Siebold. That name is familiar. The last name, I don't know about the first name. So general for Allie, and that's your first one. And then Linda says, why does Arjun keep his distance from me when he says he loves me and wants a future with me? Do you want the real thing? Because he's manipulative. Because he's manipulative. Because he's manipulative. Because he's manipulative. So I want you to really think about this. That's a very manipulative thing to do, first of all. And I don't know that that's psychic or if it's just been around the block. Do you really want to deal with somebody who's going to manipulate you and tell you? And then we're going to go into like your mindset thing. Do you really want to be around with somebody who's like, I love you, I want a future with you, but I can't be with you? Like, fuck you, is what you should be saying. Like, I deserve better. I'm not going to breadcrumb it because I'm telling you, if they're doing this now, they're not going to be any better when you're actually with them, if you're actually with them. It's also about his own emotions. So let's look at, though, like you have no control of his own emotions and his own stuff, and he's inexperienced. You're giving him too much credit. Don't give him that credit. I'm telling you that you're giving him too much credit. Inexperienced or not, then stop tolerating it. I want you to look at your own self-worth and your own self-concept and look at, because it's the issue lies there is like, what are you tolerating? Why are you tolerating that? Why do you think that you're only allowed to have somebody who puts you, like, gives you a little breadcrumb here and there? Like, why are you tolerating that? Why are you putting up with that? You're worthy. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're funny. You're smart. You're kind. You're caring. You're all of these wonderful things. And you deserve somebody who reciprocates that worthiness and that love. So fill this up first, because even if you get with him If you don't have this filled up, you're in that relationship, it's just going to get worse. So fill this up and love you first. He's not the only man on the block. I actually don't feel like you'll end up with him. Even if I said it then, I don't feel like you'll end up with him. He has issues with emotional, it's like emotionally immature. So I inexperienced or not, then you say to him like, okay, well, if you want to be with me, then like, let's do this, because I'm not waiting around. I don't have time for it. So if you want to give him that as the credit, because you don't want to say like, oh, I think he's manipulating me, and I think he has emotional attachment issues. So give him the thing, but then don't tolerate it. Don't be patient and wait around for breadcrumbs, because you're worth more than breadcrumbs. So that's why I think he's doing it. That's what he's doing. And I'm not sure that that's psychic information. If it's just, maybe it's just life experience and my own healing stuff I've gone through. And I'm sorry if that's not the answer you want. It's just what I feel. I actually feel like I'm like, they go, oh, she's going to be done with him in like 2 months. Like, I feel like you're going to get to this point where in 2 months time, you're going to go, so not waiting around for this. And he may come back at that time. And then you need to really think, do I want somebody who doesn't see me, who doesn't value me, and who doesn't recognize wanting to be with me until I'm gone? Because what does that say? COVID keeps you apart. Yeah, but there's Zoom, there's email, there's WhatsApp, there's like all these different ways, and a million other apps and stuff that are, if those aren't available in India, there's a million other things. They have technology there. There's no reason you could handwrite a letter. Like, there's Pony Express. That's like, there's no reason he can't have a connection with you. And he's doing that unless, like, there's a manipulation thing there. So I don't, like, to me, that's not an excuse. If someone really wants to be with you, they will make time for you regardless of whether or not they live next door to you or across the world. They make time for you. So ask yourself, why are you one? So here's the other thing. If they're far away, why am I wanting someone who's not fully available? So not only is he not physically fully available, he's not fully available emotionally. Why am I tolerating that? What's within me that I think that I don't value myself enough to think that I'm worth more than that? There's, 9 million people on the planet, or 9 billion people on the planet. And like, it's roughly half women, half men. So if we think about life that way, there's a lot of options out there. It doesn't have to be that way. So it's look inside of yourself and see where it is that where your values are lying, and then go do the Dylan James stuff. Go rebuild and reprogram. Yeah, I know, Pony Express. I don't know. There's just so many ways to chat. There's so many ways to connect with people. And if he's like keeping his distance, then, and the other thing is like, you have to change your mindset of like, who cares if he's not around? Like, when you really love yourself, it doesn't really matter if someone's around or not. Like, because you value yourself enough not to wait. All right, Allie wants a general. And what's a general about your husband? So they said he's nice. He's tan, like his skin is tanned. Not like, I don't feel like Jersey tan or anything. And no offense to Jersey girl, J girl. But I just always think of like the Jersey Shore and like all the housewives of New Jersey. Like, they're all like, but I also feel like, so I feel like a headache and anxiety. So he may have some mental health stuff where he gets like, from his anxiety, he develops like migraines or something like that. Cause I felt like this really like strong feeling here on top of my head. So if you change the self-concept, Linda, you start to shift and you start to pull in a totally different group of people, right? So maybe right now in the mindset that you're in of, I'll take anything, I'll take crumbs. If you're in that mindset because you don't feel worthy, you don't feel like you're worth enough, that you're not whatever enough. I'm not skinny enough or smart enough or funny enough or talented enough or successful enough or whatever enough that people tend to feel before they can find someone. If you're in that mindset, then you sort of pull from a different energetic being. When you change mindsets and you shift how you feel about yourself, you automatically upgrade and start attracting a whole different group of people. So Allie, with him, I feel like so that he may have some like anxiety or depression or some mental health stuff, but I don't feel like it's like deep down dark, whatever. I just feel like that's there as an underlying issue. Maybe he needs to drink more water and eat. The feeling I get is like actually a lot of the work that you're going to be doing, because I actually feel like over the next 2 years, you're going to be doing a lot of inner work too. And the sense I get is like a lot of that is actually going to help him too. Like sort of showing him a different way that he can process life and process things. I feel like, there's people that are open to healing and open to looking at themselves, and then there's people that are not. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go in and change him. It's like he's going to be like, hey, I see how happy you are. I also don't feel like you'll start out as like, oh, we're dating and we're together. I feel like you might even start out as a friendship. And so like you sort of inspire him in a way. What was your second question? And then Sonia Lee, if you want to start typing your questions. A general reading? Okay. And then Sonia Lee, if you want to type yours. I feel like I need to do a check-in with KK. Are you doing okay? I just wanted to see if you were okay. I don't know. Oh, Sonia, question 2. I'm sorry. I'm going to get to you, Allie, in your general. I just saw that and I was like so quick that I'm just going to answer it. I actually feel like by September, you'll all be back. You may be even before, but I feel like by September, everybody's back in the office. Okay, so Allie, general reading. So this is kind of taking off from like over the next 2 years, you're really going to be working on yourself. They said, you keep talking about not trusting people and feeling unsafe and all of that. And they said, just do the work on yourself. Now is the time to really look at yourself, do the inner work, do that work of reprogramming and shifting the things around you. And then sort of like once you reprogram this, you stop worrying about whether or not somebody's trustworthy or whatever, because you trust yourself enough and you're like, whatever, to all of those people, like the naysayers and the people who aren't supporting you or the people who are racist assholes. You sort of just like, you stop worrying about them so much. it also feels like, and I'm not saying that your fear and anxiety wrapped around that is not valid. So please understand that I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that you start to feel more empowered and start to like trust your intuition more of when the caution is warranted and when it's just ego driven. Oh, maybe that's what that is, KK. I bet that's what that is. So, and like, so then you'll know, like, I've said this, I do believe that racism exists, but not in everyone. And so it's like, you'll start to like kind of know, like, this is a situation I should stay away from. This is a person I should stay away from. And intuitively, without needing to have an interaction with them, just reading their, like, that's what I feel like is going to really happen for you over the next 2 years. So they're saying like, sort of like, it's time now to start doing the inner work, reprogramming that stuff. And while you're reprogramming, asking us to open up and give you signs and connecting with your own intuition. Oh, it's buffering. Shoot. Is it still buffering? Is it still buffering? Okay. So what I said was basically, what you need to do is, I was seeing if KK was emailing me to make sure. What you need to do is check with, over the next 2 years, you'll learn about your intuition. You'll learn about like connecting in and like reprogramming all of this stuff, these old belief systems. You start to learn to trust your intuition more and understand who is safe and who is not, versus your ego who goes, basically like picks up every single trigger thing. Because I get it. Like, one of my guides one time, because I this was years ago, where I read a thread and it was a woman of color and she was angry because she felt like I helped support all these white women along the way, and then once they get up there, they like don't bring me with them. They don't help me, and like, fuck that in the spiritual community. And I've seen it happen. So I'm not saying it doesn't, but I didn't understand the anger and I didn't respond because it wasn't really my place to say anything. Trauma response. Yeah. So, but I asked my guides, because like when I asked my friend who was a Black woman, I was like, I don't really get this. Can you help me understand it? And she wasn't involved. And she was like, she went off like, how do you not get this? And I was like, okay, this isn't sinking in very well for me. And like, I didn't want to upset anything anymore, because I really genuinely wanted to understand it. And I really genuinely wanted to, we have different perspectives. I've had a different life, right? I'm white. So it's like, I have a lot of privilege because of that. And I get that. So I asked my guides, I was like, well, I had been through my own traumas and I had been through my own healing and understanding what triggers were. And I woke up and they were like, because I was kind of like in the white person mode. And we do this where it's like, but not everybody's like that. We're not all white people are that way, right? Just like every man, if they get called sexist, is like, well, not every man is sexist. And you're like, but so they were like, hey, it isn't about you, but you're essentially a trigger. So just by being white, you are a trigger. And so it's like essentially every day they wake up and every time they go out, there's a trigger everywhere. And I was like, that just like floored me, where I was like, fuck, that sucks. That like, there's always a reminder of the trauma that they've been through. Like always, there's never, like for me with the kind of trauma I've been through, it's not always like once I went through a huge part, it's like, I still get triggers and stuff, but it's not always, it's not every day, it's not everywhere I go out. So what I feel like is going to happen is that's going to calm down. It doesn't mean you're never going to have a trigger again. It just means that it's going to calm down and you're going to start to listen to your intuition more and lean into that and lean into trusting that more, so that the ego and the trigger part that's kept you safe for a really long time. So let's honor that. That's what our ego does. That's what our triggers do. They kept us safe, right? But you're not going to need that as much. You're going to lean into the intuition. So for all of you white people out there who don't understand that, we are essentially a trigger response, or a trigger for people of color. So you're right. Not every white person's like that, but that's essentially what's happening when they go out. Does that make sense, Allie? And 3 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, holy moly, I'm in such a different space. Okay. Let me look at, I mean, I don't blame you, and it's completely understandable that you would get in those cycles. Like if you're going through it and you've never really healed the trauma and the trauma response of it, and then you're constantly like, it's like always there, it would be depressing. So like honor that's okay and that's normal too. Like it doesn't mean you need to stay there. It doesn't mean you don't need to do the work to heal all of it. But it just like, for like a lot of my traumas, and I was like, oh, well, I was like this, lifted off of my shoulders to hear that because in my head I was always weird, strange, different. Everybody else was normal, and I just couldn't, like, I was just the weirdo. So it gave me empathy and compassion and understanding for myself. So it's like, if you just understand that, like, you're not broken. It's normal. It's okay. It doesn't mean you have to stay there, and it doesn't mean you're going to be there forever, but like, it's okay that you're there. I really like, you're not broken. Remember that you're not broken. Okay. Sonia, your other question was trying to make a decision on big investment for spiritual training. It's a long process, a year-long process. Wondering if Spirit has a message for me, if now is the right time, or if we should wait till next year. Would it start in the fall? Can I just get that? Because it's like, it's pulling me there. So it feels like it's not. Investment-wise, I think that you're fine. Like financially investing, it feels like time-wise is what my question is. You're welcome, Allie. Starts next. Are you sure that they're not? I don't know what you're doing. Like if it's like, so say it's psychic development courses, if it's going to be like they end up starting another rotation in September, to where it's like they have, like, so ours would be like, like 1 month you would do, like, so there'd be like, say there was like psychic development 1 and be 2 sections. So you would do the first section 1 month and the second section another month. And then it would start into psychic development 2, and there'd be like 3 sections, and you do 1, 2, 3 months. So, but then like they might start another psychic development class for level 1, where you can keep going and doing your 3 and 4, but they might start another level 1. So it just feels like they might actually open something up in September, and that's when you start. Because I don't necessarily feel like it's next year, but I don't always feel like it. I also don't necessarily feel like it's next month. Does that make sense? And I can't tell you what to do. Like, I'll never tell you should do this. Well, sometimes I sort of say it that way, but I don't mean it that way. But as far as this, like, to me, it doesn't feel like it's a bad idea if I do it next month. Okay. So maybe you hold off to this and then you do the thing in the fall and then start up this part that next year. Because I feel whatever you're doing, it's like you wait and then start in the fall. And it actually feels like it's a scheduling issue over the summer. Like it ends up like there's a big scheduling conflict. Have you looked at the future dates of it, like when you're supposed to do it or how you're supposed to do it? Okay. So I have Devry and Joanne and Farah. You do have the list as being closed, correct? Okay, thank you. It's Kurt with a K. I should have said that. Oh, sorry, J girl. Yeah, it feels like there's something where there's like a scheduling conflict. And I don't know what that means, where it's like, I don't know, maybe with one of the in-person things. Kansas girl. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to put you in as Kansas girl, so. Figure out why that name sounds familiar to me. Hang on, I'm not ready for you yet. We still have a few people ahead of you. I just wanted to. I promise I'll get to you. Okay, Goddess Love. Devry, are you here? Goddess Love, what is your name on your PayPal? Joanne, here's yours. Okay, I'll do yours. Oh, you posted? Shoot, sorry, Devry, I'll look for it. Farah is Goddess Love. Okay. Let me write that on my list so I quit. Okay, let me answer Devry's and Joanne's. Oh, Devry, I can't find yours. How far back is it? Is it pretty far up? Thanks, Goddess Love. Devry, do you mind rewriting it? Oh, just a general. Got it. Sorry, dear. Okay, general. So this is what they're saying first. It's not really about the next 3 months. It's sort of where you're at, and then we'll look at that. But they want you to focus on this really quick. They just said that like you are doing much better, just like you said in your thing. You're doing much better on focusing on it, but you still get a little bit into the worry state, right? Like you might get like a little bit of a daily mental drop, and they're sort of talking about like that's where you have to go in those moments, be like start your like I am chosen, I am safe, I am secure. The universe always has my back. Everything's always working out in my favor. I'm doing really good. And like do like a quick little 5 or 10 minute thing where you're just sort of like in that zone to like prop yourself back up. What's interesting is you doing this work, they're sort of making me feel like you're sort of inspiring your mom to kind of like clean up her stuff. And that's really big to be the unicorn. $3 months. They're saying they're like, we really like, they're testing is growing and your light is growing. This light within here is growing and it's sort of like attracting a whole new thing. I actually think you'll be moving again by the end of the year to a nicer place because you're making more money. So it feels like things start opening and flowing and happening for you, but it's just staying in this mental mindset and really keeping it going. And even though you mentioned that thing in like Louisiana or whatever, somebody having your thing, and that sort of like feels like that's going to work itself out. She just needs to trust that that's going to work itself out. It doesn't mean you don't have to do any like calling around or whatever. It just feels like it's going to end up working itself out without having to worry about it. So like over the next 3 months, it just feels like really focusing on you, really, really light, bright light coming up. And 4 months is when I feel like there's like an income change, like feeling better, more money coming in. Okay. Can I leave you with that? So it feels like again, the next 3 months is sort of really just focusing on you, where you're not going to notice you'll notice like little like more manifestations happening and more things kind of happening in your life shifting and being in more of a positive mindset and like working on that. That's how it feels like for the next 3 months. And then it feels like at 4 months is where things start happening and then like maybe moving by the end of the year. Where it's like I want a nicer apartment. I got a nicer apartment and it's like less expensive than I would have thought. Like it's like getting a better deal on it, things sort of just falling into place because of course it would, because if I want it, I got it, right? I don't know who sings that song. I want it, I got it. I want it, I got it. Okay. I'm sorry about the buffering. I don't know if my daughter's playing. One of my daughters might be gaming. I'll try and send a message. Ariana Grande. Let me just send. Because it only buffers when she's playing. And I know she's on this thing. I message her through an app. Okay. Is it still buffering? Joanne, Goddess Love, and Lorraine, you guys are up. Joanne, J Girl, there we are. Okay, we're looking at property purchase tomorrow. Is this the home? Got it. Okay. I got it. Okay. I feel like it is, but there's they said there's a caveat, and they're showing me like either some kind of drain pipe or something running through it. Is it a large plot of land or is it a home? Because when you say property, I think land. Joanne right now, J Girl. I speak my truth. What is your name? For your PayPal, because I don't have that your screen name. 1 acre with a house. Is there like some kind of drain running through it? So it may be that there's a paper street running through it somehow, like the front of the thing. So there might be an easement or something. We're almost to you. So stay with me, please. We're almost to you. So that might be the caveat. Like when you get a look at so like our house, when we looked at it, I was like, oh, it's great. And then we started the process of buying it. And they're like, there's a paper street that runs through your front yard. So like our street's a cul-de-sac. When they built the neighborhood, they built it so they could go out to the main road. If they ever wanted to, they left it as a paper street. So if they ever wanted to like extend our thing, and so we'd lose like half of our front yard. The reason why we didn't worry about it was because like we figured this place has been here for 40 plus years and they've never done anything with it. They're not going to do anything with it. At least, whatever. So it's like they said, yes, it is, but with a caveat. So it might be something like that where you start going through the process and then see that and be like, but it's like what they're showing me is like, I don't know if it's like some kind of drain. It looks like a large drain pipe running through it somehow. So I don't think it's through your, it feels like it would be like in the front part of the property where it's like, I don't know. There's something to that, but otherwise it feels like, yes, it is. But I feel like it's going to need some work. So I don't know if you're planning on a fixer upper or like having some updates to it, but it feels like it's going to need some work. Oh, okay. So maybe that's what it is. Right now it's one driveway that is shared from the road. So maybe that's what that is. Are you planning on, it feels like it's going to need some updating. It's in good shape. There's something that you're going to have to fix. It doesn't feel like major updates. It just feels like they're telling me there's something that's going to have to update it. So maybe we have to update the HVAC system. Maybe that's the one thing that's old, or maybe, so we went and looked at this one house. We actually started the process of buying it and ended up like jumped out of it because like it had a really nice updated kit. Like the kitchen was like amazing. And then like once we started getting the inspections and stuff, it was like, oh, well, but when they put in the vent from the stove, it vented right into the attic instead of venting out of the house. Like it should have gone up out of the house, and like they did their own insulation and they put the insulation in upside down. So it created a mold issue and they didn't want to pay for the mold. Like it feels like there's going to be something that needs to be done. So again, your house, but it's like this comes with it where it's like there's something where you're going to have to do some kind of updating or fixing something. So maybe the updating would be like on that house, like fixing the vent so it vents out of the house properly. So like when we first looked at the house, it looked like, oh, it looked pretty good. But then my husband is in construction and he had some of his people come out and like with us when we were doing, the plumber was like, this plumbing's really kind of shit. So it's like stuff that you can't see in the pictures. So it does feel like it's going to need some updating, but it doesn't feel like it's out of the realm of impossibilities. Just know that when you go in that there may be, what do they call them? Contingencies that you have put in. Autumn, the list is closed, but I feel like, no, I didn't. Let me see. Did you get a question? And I feel like, so you may put it in, you're like, oh, it looks great. We totally want it. And we put the money in, we get it. Like, so if cause I know it's hard to find homes right now, like, or it's like a seller's market. You get it, blah, blah, blah. And then it's kind of like, then the inspection comes in. We're like, okay. So it's like, there will be a little back and forth there. It's going to might take a little bit longer to hit the close date than you would want. Okay. So, Goddess Love and Lorraine, you guys are up. Apparently I'm just not supposed to talk on these things because when I talk, it takes too long to get through these. I know in I mean, I don't know what other states do, so I don't know where you're at exactly, but. Okay. So, Autumn, if you'll come back next week, that would be great. If you join my mailing list on my website, myspiritualfriend.com, if you join the mailing list, then you'll get an email on Saturday or early Sunday. You'll get reminded that we're doing the live thing, and you can also purchase your reading early at that point. I get on the list early. So, Goddess Love or Lorraine, you guys write your questions, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends about how awesome it is here. Thanks, Autumn. Wait, I'll speak. Oh, you're Lorraine. I speak my truth as Lorraine, right? I didn't write that down. I want to make sure. Okay. Am I under some kind of entity attachment? Body vibrates. Something takes over. I see things at night, bad thoughts, death, etc. Creating this, or is this real? Is it a mental health related? You're Lorraine. Okay. So I don't believe it's mental health. Hang on. My shorts are riding up. So let me just pull those down because sorry. I don't feel like it's a mental health thing. I do feel like you're seeing them. I do feel like sorry, there's like a weird hutch buzzing all of a sudden. Oh, I'm not trying to scare you. You're going to be okay. So what happens sometimes when we first start opening up is we're not really, I don't believe like we need protection, but like if we go into the mindset of stuff, like we need protection, then we need protection, right? So I'm sort of in the mind space of like, I used to see all those crazy things. Ask them to calm it down. It's really simple. They're very kind. Like, so if you're hearing voices, just be like, you're freaking me out right now. Find another way to connect with me. You're not welcome here right now. Remember, I've had a child who I took care of, who was a resident at this one place that I worked at. He started coming to me a week before he died, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't recognize him. Hi, April.
Can you put on my clothes? Because I'm trying to see what Daddy's talking about.
Can you see if Daisy will help you put your clothes on?
But I want you because
I'm not going to be done for a little while, though, so you're going to have to wait a really long time.
What?
I know. Please. April. Are you being a monkey? No. Do you need a huggy? Yeah. Okay. Come here. Wait, please go get your. Go have Jillian or Daisy help you get your clothes on. I'll be right back. You guys have to. Hey, Daisy. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. So what you need to do is, she like had this like little like smile on her face. I was like, do you need help? Yes. So set boundaries, right? So you say that it's too loud, it's scaring me, it's freaking me out. I don't like this. This isn't okay. Are you seeing more shadowy figures? Because they aren't necessarily bad. So when I teach my daughter, because when I was little, I used to see a lot of shadowy figures, and now I just see people walking around. They're clearer now and different, and like our house is a raised ranch. When you walk in, you actually walk in on the basement level that's like open to the rest of the living space. But I'll walk by the stair railing and or the banister, whatever you want to call it. And I'll like see someone walking downstairs or kind of coming up the stairs, or it's just activity all the time. And I've just like, okay, I stop worrying about it. So your body can be vibrating because you're starting to connect in, or that's the way spirit's letting you know they're showing up, or that you're going to have a psychic event, or that there's like several reasons why it can happen. So I know a good friend of mine, he says his wife's body will start to feel like it's vibrating sometimes. And I just think it's her connecting into that energy. So again, set the rules with your guides. I don't like the way this feels. Shift it to something different. Give me another. I used to start to feel like really a lot of anxiety before I would do a reading or before I would get something from spirit. And when I finally just was like, I don't have to feel it this way to know that it's spirit. Like, and I just started paying attention to all the really subtle stuff, I stopped getting those things. So it's sort of like start paying attention. Okay, so start saying like, I don't need to feel it this way, or breathe into it, do the meditations. And before you go into guided meditations or you talk to your guides, just say like, I don't like feeling this way. Find another way for me to feel that. It's not in your head. You're not crazy. It's just picking up on and being sensitive. So once you start kind of getting used to what those signs are, understand that you're way more powerful, and this is your plane of existence to experience as a human being. And so you get to set the rules. So they have to acclimate to you, not the other way around. So then what you need to do is, I don't really deal with all those really dark things. Find somebody who deals with those, but you can do, start doing, don't follow that, first of all. Don't follow hurting others, right? You don't need to hurt anybody. You need to sage your home. Have you tried saging it? Of course not. Sage your home. Sage your house, and know that there's sometimes grumpy. Like I've had spirits where I've had to sage several times. And when you sage, you've gone through trauma, but I'm in the process of moving out. Okay. Sage it. Because here's the thing. If something is attached to you, so dark, light, whatever, human, animal, we all need energy to sustain our life. We humans and animals on this plane of existence eat physical food to get our energy, right? It burns energy, creates energy in our body. Why can't you sage in it? You can sage in it. So all a darker, heavier, lower energy is doing. Okay, but you still can sage. And then I don't work with those energies, so I'm probably not, it's your mom's house. You can take sage spray. You can take selenite. You don't have to get them as hearts, but they're fairly inexpensive. They scratch easily. They're like a softer rock, and place them around your room. You can take salt. I mean, there's all different kinds of things. I don't really deal in like the darker, heavier energy, so I'm really not the person for this thing. But my recommendations are to sage, regardless of whose house it is. Open the windows when you're doing it. When you're doing the work that I'm telling you to do, if you want to do a sage spray, it's just water and sage, and you can infuse it with blessings and healing. You're going to open the windows and you're going to say, and it's not like, by the power of Christ, whatever. It's not that. It's like, I thank you for being here, for making me acknowledge of the imbalance within my life. It's time for you to go. She's religious. So you know what? Even in churches, they use frankincense and myrrh and they burn that. Like if you go to a Catholic church, they use frankincense and myrrh and they burn it. I'm trying to tell you the things that I know how to do, and you're saying no, 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 no. So I might not be the person to help you. These are the things that I know how to do to like help move out darker energies. I've had really dark, scary things before around, and they're really just trying to elicit your fear because they feed off of your fear. So it's surrounding yourself with white light, calling on Archangel Michael, who's the protector, calling on Archangel Raphael, who can heal some of the energy in there, calling on Archangel Gabriel, who's the angel of communication, and Archangel Chamuel, who's the angel of love. So you surround yourself with all of these things, and you ask them to assist you in removing and sending that energy, that demon, if you will, love. Fill it with love, fill it with healing, fill it with communication, that it's not necessary to be there, that it needs to walk into the light and it needs to cross over. I don't feel like it's going to leave if you continue to fear it instead of empowering yourself and taking power and control over it. So again, it might mean that maybe you don't feel strong enough to do it on your own. You need to find the person that does those kind of clearings, those big house clearings for darker, heavier energies. It's not something I do. But I'm telling you the things that I know how to do and the way that I clear things out and the way that I've cleared heavier energies out. I think because I have so much faith and trust in all of those guides that, and I know that they were here because my daughter was like less than, not able to speak, but would like jump when I saw it coming at me, like curling into me. I don't feel like it's necessarily attached to you, but you're definitely a good energy source for it to feed from. So you're not pray in fear, right? You're going to say, it's time for you to leave. You need to find another place. I'm sending you into the light. I'm calling on Archangel Michael. I'm calling on Archangel Raphael. I'm calling on Archangel Chamuel, Archangel Gabriel, and the divine universe to surround me and fill this home with white light, and to surround me with white light, and to fill this energy, this entity with white light, and to fill it with love, and to fill it with healing, and to communicate with it and take it to the other side and spread it. So maybe your body's vibrating as I'm saying this because you're connecting in with the higher energy that I'm talking about. And it's telling you not to do it because you're its food source. You are the food source for it. You know what? There's a person that I know named Daniel Teague, and he might be able to help you with this. This might be something he might be able to work with. It's just not something I do. Let me get his website. So you're feeling the vibrating and you're hearing, you're not a host. So let's look at it differently. You're not a host. You're an energy source. So cut off the source. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just cut off the source. You don't have to be the food source, and you can send it into the light. So ask all of these things. We call upon Archangel Michael to surround Lorraine with a white light of protection. Archangel Chamuel to surround her with a pink light of love. Archangel Raphael to surround her with a green light of healing, and Gabriel to surround her with a violet light, filling her with all of this light, filling her home with all of this light. Send whatever this entity is on its way, fill it with the light, carry it away, carry it out of the home. She no longer needs to be a food source and a feeding source to this energy. Do you feel like a heaviness in the left side of your head? Yeah. So I know what I'm talking about. And it's kind of wanting to hold on. So hold on, I'm going to work on something else, but I'm going to give you this because I think he could help you. Okay. So you need to say it's okay to let go. Because they're telling me you don't want to let go. I know as afraid as you are, they're telling me, because I see him morphing into it and I've got him surrounded, and they said to me, she doesn't want to let go. It's not demon possession. It's not demon possession. You need to let go. I'll explain what it is. It's not a demon. Okay. Thank you, Lauren Jane. All right, I speak my truth. I went ahead and did that. I filled your house. Your everything is filled. It should be done. The only way it comes back now is if you invite it back. How are you feeling? So I don't feel like it's a demon. I don't feel like anything really like that exists. I get that people believe that. I think what happens is souls that are taught this belief system that if they're bad, if they live a certain lifestyle, if they treat people a certain way, if they are a certain way, have certain thoughts, and they aren't eligible to cross over into the light or be with God, they're not good enough, they're not whatever enough, which is all bullshit, right? That's a bullshit control system set in by man. So this was a male energy. I saw him with glasses. He actually looked like a white man, wrinkly, skinny little man with glasses, and he didn't feel eligible enough or good enough to cross over, right? So they end up feeling, and then they turn in on themselves and they speak negatively to themselves, even in spirit form. And they sort of then realize that they're going to get their negative energy, which is their food source, it's okay. Don't worry about the vibrating. That's normal. That's just about connecting it with energy. That's nothing to do with the spirit. Okay. So they scare other to get their food. Like think of Monsters Inc. It's very similar to that. That comes from somewhere. that's how they get their food source. So you are a great food source. You were fear-ridden, afraid of the demon. You were built on this belief system of evil takes over me and possesses me, and I have no control. You said your mom was religious. So it's just eliciting that fear and feeding. And that's why it was saying, no, don't do that because I'll go away. Don't take your power back because then I can't stay. Don't do this because then it's just to get food. So I helped him cross over. So just relax. You're okay. Prayer shouldn't be about, oh my God, save me. It's like, I know I'm good. My connection with God knows that I'm safe. I know I'm well protected. I know I'm okay. I get it, but it's not, again, it's a way to elicit fear because you have this idea that demons have more control over me. But if you really believe in God and you believe God is the Alpha and the Omega and the beginning and end, the Almighty, why are we even worried about the devil? Because what I believe in is a hell of a lot stronger. It's a weird fucking dichotomy thing like that they put in to control you. They don't exist, but what it does is it creates that belief system, creates these darker, heavier, negative energies, these people that don't think that they're worthy to cross over and be with God, and they sort of like turn in on themselves and scare the shit out of everybody else to get their food. You can reach out to who I suggested if you want, or if you feel better, then just know it, own your space, take your power back. All right. Goddess Love, you're up. Caramel Apple, you're up. Make sure you like and subscribe. How about that? And tell your friends about me. That's what would be great. Don't live in fear and go to the look up Dylan James and look up his resetting, all of that stuff. Like I said, I had a weird dream where I was listening to him. And when I wake up and I hear the things he says are all loving, but it was like my ego was crawling up as like this demon scary thing to be like, don't do these things. Don't reprogram because we like this relationship we have with you. And I was like, yeah, fuck you. Bye-bye. Okay. So take your power back because a lot of this, everything I'm reading is, not to say that you're a victim, but to say that I have no power. I'm powerless, but you're very powerful. Please type your question. And then Goddess Love, you didn't go. And then Caramel Apples and Julie Owens, you guys are up. Let's try and get through these because I've been on here a while and I'm getting hungry, I think. You're welcome. I speak my truth. Oh, no, you're not being spiritually attacked. It's like, I think yours is the same as like, kind of, it's interesting that you two kind of came in together. Yours feels more like the idea of powerlessness and not owning your power. And then also like, as you start to shift, sometimes that stuff kind of comes up where it's like your ego, your lower self is like, no, I like this relationship we have. Don't change it. It's the needy girlfriend or the needy boyfriend. And you're like, fuck that noise. Like you helped me out for a long time, but like now I'm doing good, you know? You're welcome. I got it. I read it. I think there's a delay. Yeah, there's definitely a delay. I love, Mary, that you felt that energy thing. Because I always wonder, I'm like, I feel like I'm just in my head here. I mean, I know I'm doing something, but like when I'm saying to you guys, like, oh, it's like this, it's because I've been there. I'm doing it. I've been doing the work. I think because when I decide something needs to be cleared out, I like totally kick ass to do it. Like, and even like in my own like physical 3D world, I'm like, when I'm done, I'm done. I think that's a Cancerian thing though too. What do you want to know specifically? Because what they're showing me is that like, so when you start to do spiritual upgrades, when you decide like, people call it when I have my awakening, when you start to do that shit and you start to go, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to like shift into like the next level. Every single thing changes. You don't get to go like, oh, I'm really spiritual, but I get to like, I still have all these friends that like I used to do like because you're energetically not the same. I'm going to ask, not that I'm going off of you right now, Goddess Love, but because there's a delay with you, I'm going to kind of like work in between you and somebody else. So I'm not having a lot of lag time since I've been here almost 2 hours. So Caramel Apples, could you please type your question? And Julie Owens, if you could please type your question. That way I can keep moving through people when there's a delay. Yeah. When you're doing, so here's what you need to do is look at it this way. Instead of going, oh my God, like maybe I don't want to do this, go, oh my God, it's working. So when you're doing real spiritual work and you're doing real healing, every single thing shifts. You cannot stay the same and go, but I want to be here. Like this shit doesn't, like everything changes. When you change this major part of yourself, every single thing changes. What do you mean you're oh, weird. I just felt that. Is it like lower back, lumbar, sacral area? Lower lumbar, sacral area? Oh, I love that your living room is illuminated. I filled it. I filled our whole house with white light. I was like, fill it all with white light. So, Goddess Love, when you get in the full mindset, you're sort of still in the like, they're showing me sort of still in the like this, the like, you got your foot in the water. You're not a toe. You got your foot in the water. Your left foot's in, your right foot's out. When you're in the full mindset of like, I'm going for this, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You don't have to fight. It's just like, oh, I'm moving in this direction. Like, oh, you don't like it? Oh, I'm sorry. Because it's not really about you. Like my life and my journey is about me. So when you start to shift energetically, when you start to shift energetically and move up, to people who don't get it or who are on this like low vibration, and low vibration does not mean bad. It's just different. When they're on a different vibration, you do look strange. Think about when before you were spiritual, would you look at people like me or people wearing all the crystals or whatever and be like, what the fuck? Like, sure you did. Or the people who are, they're totally like into Jesus and, they're doing their Jesus, I love you at church, whatever. Like it looks weird to an outsider. So don't worry about it. That means that's a confirmation from the universe that you are shifting and changing. Do you feel good? Are you happy? Do you feel like you're on the right path? Yes. Okay. Do you see that they're happy? No. Okay. Why do I worry about what they think? You feel stagnant because the universe has you in a place of holding, because it's a place of growth and a place of like it's like what we all go through. We all go through these like where it's like I feel really stagnant, like I'm not moving. The minute you get like, okay, I'm good with being in this holding pattern, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I probably need to do more of it. You'll start to move out of it and you'll stop feeling so stagnant because opportunities will start to come in. It feels like in 2 months you'll kind of feel less stagnant. We all go through those periods. That's super normal. Ask KK. She's been there. I'm pretty sure every person has been here on this that's in that spiritual journey. So don't fight. Just do what you need to do. Stay in your lane. Get in that tunnel vision. Focus on you. and recognize like that, I spent a lot of time and a lot of years worried, looking for outside validation, looking for people like, oh, well, maybe they'll accept me or whatever. And like really fucking making myself small for other people. And what I realized was this, like these epiphanies come along and you're like, they're not fucking happy. Who the fuck are they to judge me? Who fucking cares? Like, I'm going to do the thing that makes me happy and fulfills me because this is my journey. And I don't want to look back and feel terrible. And I want to be a really good role model to my kiddos because I want them to like feel good owning who they are and loving who they are and knowing that their opinions don't have to match mine, their feelings, their likes, their dislikes, like it doesn't have to match. And we still love them and all of that. Okay, Cancer Scroll, that's fine. If you want to do that, and I'll just, do you want me to refund your money or do you want me to hold on to it for next week and I'll leave you first on the list? Okay, I'm going to leave you with that, Goddess Love. You're not being spiritually attacked. You're just going through the upgrades. You're fine. Stop making yourself small. It's not worth it. Kansas Girl, okay, so you'll be first on the list for next week. I'm going to go ahead and start that list. I think that's the 30th. What's today? The 23rd? Yeah, 30th list. Okay, so caramel apples. Let me see. I know you wrote yours. You're welcome. Have a wonderful week. Can you see where my relationship is going in the next 12 months? And then Julie, I'll come back to your neck. Okay. So, Goddess Love, focus on yourself, go to that Dylan James stuff, start doing those things. I'm telling you. And then the job stuff sort of kind of falls into place, right? Everything else starts to fall into place, but heal all of this, work on that. Caramel apples. Okay. You want to look at your relationship for the next 12 months. Okay, so do you have, I don't want to say this as a question, but I'm going to say it. Like, so they said it's on like Donkey Kong. I don't know why they say that. Do you say that? Like it's rolling. It's fine. It's good. What you need to work on is your fear of abandonment issues and your worthiness issues. And like that, like I'm always chosen. I'm stable. I'm in a stable relationship. I'm okay. I'm good. Like work on that inner dialogue because healing that, like, so when you get into your worry mode of like, oh my God, it's going to fall apart. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm solid. The universe always has my back. I'm always chosen. I'm always the one. Like Dylan James, I'm telling you guys, these are like, they're so good where I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. He said one when I was listening, it was like, I'm always manifesting and I always know what I want to manifest next. And I always know the best way to manifest things. And I'm like, yeah, manifest that. You're welcome, Goddess Love. So it's like, do those things. I'm so glad that you guys like listen and follow him because I really like, I think he's great. I think he's really good at what he does. I could make those things and like snag off of, but I think like he's just got this really lovely energy. So maybe I can talk him into like figuring out how to do like an interview on here where we're like chat and like do that on here so you guys can see whatever. Anyway, I just, I think there's a huge part to like fixing yourself and healing yourself. Like, I really do believe in manifesting, but if you don't have the core stuff down, then like he says, it's just gone. And it's true. So I do feel like it's great, but work on this part of yourself because that's going to trip you up along the way and give you a lot more like stupid fights than you need to bother with. And I actually feel like when you do this, he's going to be like, hey, and be like, instead of like making fun of you for all of your psychic stuff and manifesting and you having to like hide it, he's going to be like, what's going on with you? And you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. And he's going to be like, ooh, maybe I need to try that. Okay. Like you're going to become a light and an inspiration to him versus like being like, little funny psychic stuff. That's the truth. Yeah, it's Dylan James. And he has a husband, Adam, who's really, they're like super cute, like together. I don't know how to do the side-by-side thing. I'm going to have to figure that out. You're welcome, Goddess Love. Okay, Julie Owens, let's get back to your back pain and neck pain. What did you want to look at with that? And then I had a lot of back pain problems and inflammation. I've had relatives with ankylosing spondylitis. Ugh. Okay, what do you see with you in your back? So I keep getting pulled to your lower back versus your neck. Let me look at your back. Oh, it's like tiring feeling. Like it hurts, but I also feel like fatigue from it. Do you get muscle fatigue from it? I feel like this is more of a disc issue. So a degenerative disc issue versus being a slipped disc. It feels like it's kind of going away. I don't know if it's that diagnosis that you were giving, the spondylosis or spondylitis. Ankylosing spondylosis. I didn't see what it was. Sorry, I'd have to look at it again. Ankylosing spondylitis. So yeah, it feels like exhausting. Like it feels like I'm like really holding up my back for it. So, again, if you're not seeing a PT, if you can get into a PT or a chiropractor that sort of specializes in that, I feel like it's a degenerative disc thing versus being that other thing. And so that might require surgery at a point, but I feel like there's things that they can teach you for strengthening your posterior chain and strengthening your core muscles. Your core muscles aren't just your abdominal muscles, it's your lower back muscles and all of those things to sort of help. And then, it's really important to also have really good, strong hamstrings and quadriceps, because that all helps hold your back up too. Like your hamstrings are connected to your glutes, and your glutes are connected to your lower back muscles. And like all of that is really, really important to be strong, because it helps support your whole frame. So it may be a genetic thing, but this one I feel like is not. I don't know what the ankylosing spondylitis is. Let me look it up. So because maybe it is what I'm feeling, but I understand the worry there. But who's the guy who talks about epigenetics? Because there's somebody on here who talks. Does anybody know? KK, do you know who I'm talking about? Oh, it's a fusion of the bones. Right. Bruce Lipton. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. So just humor me. I'm not saying don't do all of the medicine stuff, but humor me and look up epigenetics and Bruce Lipton. That said, I don't know that it's a fusion so much as it's like your disc is deteriorating. So and the neck feels like less osteo and more muscular. So less skeletal and more muscular. That's like you're not getting the work on that. Are you not going to doctors because it's freaking you out? Like, are you in your head about it a lot? Because sometimes people go, oh, I think it might be this. So I'm so afraid to find out. And like, then they never go. And I'm like, but you could also find out that it's not. And you feel you've had workshops on. Okay. So it doesn't feel like that to me. It doesn't feel like it's perfect. It doesn't feel like there's nothing going on. So I'm not saying like, oh, it's all in your head. Like I'm saying, I think that there's going to something on, but I don't feel like it's the fusing. I feel like it's disc deterioration. Have you been diagnosed with it or are you just scared? Newbie who dis, would you please put your question on? And Tiara, you don't have insurance. Okay. I'm not a doctor. So I can't, like, I can tell you what it feels like there's something medical going on. It feels like it would behoove you to get into a doctor or get into a physical therapist or get into, there's no insurance until December. There are, I know like with my chiropractor, there's like this insurance thing I can buy from him. Like, cause at a point we switched in my husband's company switched insurances. And then it was like, my copay was in like $75 for the chiropractor, which is insane. And he was like, oh, if you buy this thing on the side, which is like $150, it pays for like, it's whatever, then your copay drops to whatever. It's like much lower. So I was paying less. I do feel like you're in the worry town, like, because you're like, everybody else has this, so I must have it too. I'm happy to be wrong. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose. I can only tell you what it feels like to me and to say like, it is important because I do feel like there's something there to go to the doctor. And I know you don't have insurance, but there's not much I can do. And I definitely can't treat this one because I don't like, it feels like it does need like a physical therapist or somebody to work with you to help you. So I'm definitely not saying go start a workout plan on your own because I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, it does feel like they would teach you how to strengthen some of these muscles that might relieve some of the pain. I don't know what to tell you. Like you can try some energy healing work. If you know somebody who does Reiki or acupuncture or something like that, but I don't know your financial situation. I'm not a doctor. I can only tell you what I feel. I can't diagnose it. And I definitely don't feel comfortable saying like, go do these things because I do feel like there's a degenerative disc issue. I wish I had some magic wand that I could just make it all better and tell you, oh, it's this, it's nothing. But I feel like it's something that needs to be seen and treated. So, so I would say like, look at the epigenetic stuff. In the meantime, if you can't get to a doctor, look at if there's a way for you to do something like acupuncture and they're willing to do something like that, or Reiki, where they're not touching it physically, they're just moving energy over it. Bob and Brad are great PTs. Oh, so that might be a great, thank you, Mary. That's a great one. Something like that, but they may even recommend because they may say like, we can't, because we don't have x-rays to look at. That becomes like a liability licensure issue. So I really do. I have a ton of empathy for you. Chronic pain is awful. And, but it may be something that you actually need to physically get into somebody and get seen. I need to move on though. Okay, Julie, I'm really, really sorry. Numi Hudis, my name is Amber. I met a guy named Junior recently, and then a connection getting intense quickly. What are his intentions for us? Well, what are your intentions for you? What do you want? I noticed this, and I used to do this too, so I really want to like, okay. So look at the epigenetics thing. Maybe instead of doing the workshop, just watch some of his stuff and look at his thing, and then go to the mindset stuff. Go to do some of the mindset stuff. Do the Dylan James mindset stuff. If you can't get to a doctor, but I'd really like you to get to a doctor, so I'm covering myself and saying get to the doctor. You're welcome. So Amber, and I'm saying this from love as a friend, as a woman who's been through things. This is no judgment of you because you're not the only one who asked this. Like, what are his intentions? What are your intentions? What do you want to happen? Where do you feel you want it to go? And then shift it and move it in that direction. What are Junior's intentions for Amber? What does he feel about the relationship? I have to say this too, and I want to like, whenever anything moves really fast, that's a big red flag to me. Like, what are you in a hurry for? You're welcome, Julie. I have such a different viewpoint on this right now. So I feel like his intentions are to be in a relationship with you. I don't think it's marriage or anything else like that. I just think he likes to attach quickly. Like, it feels like very much like an octopus, like, but the thing that keeps coming up to me, like big red flags, is A, what are your intentions? Why are you so worried about his? And big red flag to me that he wants to move really fast. And you're kind of like, whoa, this is fast. Like, that's like, just keep that in mind. Like, don't go full in and think like, but he really wants me. And like, there's no one else. Like, trust me, there'll be someone else. Just like, just like take the rosy glasses off and like really look at it. And the other thing is if he's telling you something about himself, don't be like, no. Like, he's telling you the truth. That's also a big red flag. So just like, if he says something negative about himself, listen to that. And if it's negative enough, run. Don't be like, no, but you're not. Run. So his intention is to be in a relationship with you. I also think that he probably has some fear of abandonment issues. And so he might be a little bit more on the jealous side. So watch that too. Tiara and Mar and Lauren Jane and Shaheen. You guys are up, and then we're done. He will split straight to you. I don't know, spit it straight to you. Oh, he'll tell you the truth. I'd watch that too. I think he will, but I also think he's got fear of abandonment issues and some jealousy issues. So Tiara, Mar, Lauren Jane, and Shaheen, you guys are up. Whoever wants to go can go. If you're still here. If not, we've been on a long time, so I get it if you drop out. What do you mean genuine? Like, is he honest? You're welcome, Shaheen. I don't know. I'm just giving you a lot of red flags that you need to pay attention to is sort of the feeling I get. And I feel like they want me to leave it at that for that reason, because they want you to be a little bit more empowered instead of feeling like at his mercy or at the universe's mercy. They're like, you can do whatever you want. You can decide whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. But they're sort of saying like, these are red flags you need to pay attention to. Okay, so let me do the general and then I'll grab the other ones because they won't take that long. General for Shaheen. Shaheen, have you been working on opening up psychically? Because I feel like it's weird. Like they're like, oh, she's on the right path. I just got super dizzy. I feel like my third eye is open. My ear chakras are like opening up. And I just felt like everything kind of coming through. And they're sort of saying like, you're on the right path. It's just, and you're connecting in. It's like, was it Lauren Jane? Was it you? About where I was like getting a lot of cross traffic with energy. It's sort of that same sort of feeling of like getting a lot and like I'm hearing like all these different things at once and like not knowing if I'm getting that or not. And I feel really dizzy. So I feel like you need to ground in a little bit. You're welcome, Amber. Yeah. So Shaheen, does this make sense when I'm saying this to you? Remember, when you ask for a general reading and I have to do like a little quick thing, it may not be exactly what you're hoping to get. So if you want a specific question, then you ask a specific question, or if you want me to look at a specific area. But this is what they're kind of talking about right now. It resonates. Okay. So it's sort of like feeling like when I do, sorry, looked like a smudge of black. Okay. When I connect people in, or even in meditations for the church or whatever we do, we sort of do like a really grounding and balancing thing where it's like a white light through the top of your head. So you're getting from the heavens and from source, but then the light also goes down into the earth. So you're balanced in between both. And it feels like a lot of times what people do when they do videos and things like that, they're just pulling up into source. And so then they're just like all over the place and they're not, it's like electric energy. There's nothing to ground them in. So that it's just like this wildfire kind of going on. So it's like, if you ground in, the energy has somewhere to go rather than to whoosh around in your head and your ears. Yeah. So it just feels like if you would connect in a little better, ground in a little more, set the intention that you want clarity. So it may not mean that you get everything at once, but you start to close it in. The problem when you're starting to connect in and starting to get information, you expect it all to be really loud and like this Hollywood lights and cameras and fire and all of that stuff. And really the majority of what you get with your intuition when you're really connecting in, like when I'm doing these readings, it's like super fucking subtle. And it's like, that's why people miss it. That's why people ignore it. That's why people go, oh yeah, whatever. Because it's not kablam. But listen, if you're getting all of that big stuff, it's because you're fucking ignoring all the small stuff. And they're like, you need to listen. So like, and it's really unnerving. And it's like the lighter, subtle stuff is way better. Trust me. So like when they show in movies like, oh, you see all these people moving around and like the subtle stuff is cool. You don't need all of that stuff. Like that's where the meat and the information really is and all the details are. So it just feels like ground in, settle in, and then instead of wanting it to be really, really crazy loud, just have it be where I set the intuition and the intention that I receive, I understand, I know what it is I'm supposed to be getting, that it's calm, it feels safe, that it's in the subtlety of it so that I don't need to be overwhelmed. It doesn't have to be loud and crazy. Like, let's turn it down. Like if you turn music really loud in your car, if you turn it loud enough, you stop hearing what anything is. And all you hear is, there's no words. There's no actual like individual instruments. There's nothing, or maybe, I mean, that sounds like club music, but you see what I'm saying? Like so you need to turn it down so you can actually hear it. So set the intention that it comes in smoother, that it comes in less with less force, and have zero expectation of the way it's supposed to feel. So then you like, oh, I'm getting, like the one lady was saying, like, my body's vibrating. Yeah, you're connecting in. Getting a little anxiety. Yeah, that's normal. You're connecting in, and just like go, okay, I'm connecting in. Okay, that's my like doorbell ringing. That's how I know that I'm stepping into the energy. All right. I think Mar said, I feel stuck. Should I leave my current job? I'm not going to tell you you should leave your current job. You hate your current job. You want to leave your current job? Leave it. I hate to be like the asshole reader like that, but anybody who goes, yeah, leave it. I'm like, that's like setting up for a whole lot of like me putting my willpower over you. You are a powerful being. Let's stand in our power, right? So would it be in your highest interest for you to change jobs? Would it be behoove your journey? When you say stuck, you feel like you have no movement, no propulsion to move up or for growth because you feel like no one is seeing your potential there. Is that what you're really asking? Because that's the feeling I'm getting, and I just want to make sure that I'm on the right path. You're welcome, Shaheen. Mar, are you here? Yes. Wait, yes, you're here, or yes, that's what you feel? So I asked him, like, okay, so if that's what it is, if that's what the yes was for. So yes, you feel that, not growth. And so I asked what it is, and it's like the growth that he wants, he actually needs some other certifications. Like he can't just skate by. And is it short for Marlon or Marlene? Right. So I get that. So it doesn't feel like it's going to happen for another year. The feeling I get is like you also need to have some kind of certification in order to grow in the direction that you want, or some further training. So say I'm in finance, I need a Series 7 in order to give advisement to people about their finances. I can't just like be like, even if I know all about it and I understand it and I have my Series 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I need the 7th one in order to like be able to grow. So it wouldn't matter if you were at this company or another company. You can't, like, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do until you get this certification. So it's sort of like it won't happen for another year. Like I do feel like you'll leave that company, but because like maybe I get the certification, then I get like offered a better position and a better pay. Hi, Priya. Okay. Marlon. Okay. So that's the feeling I get, is like, it's like I leave because I get a better offer, because I get, because I end up having this certification. I'm not taking anybody new today. I'm trying to finish up and go have dinner with my family. Okay. And then Lauren Jane Tiara, are you here? You can try and KK if you can kind of I think I put too many R's. I apologize. Yes, I did. Lauren Jane, yeah, I'll answer your question. Tiara, if you're not here in the next 5 minutes, in the next couple of minutes while I'm doing Lauren's, then I'm going to have to refund your money or put you on the first of the list for next week. You decide. My question is, am I getting messages from my guides and past loved ones through my automatic writing, or is it just my subconscious coming through? So it's not your subconscious, it's your higher, like it's like a split. So I am getting messages, but I'm also, it's not my guides, it's my higher self, not my subconscious. So it's some from guides, some from loved ones, and then there's like this chunk that's my higher self giving me stuff. So the other thing that you need to do is, because I don't feel like it's supposed to come. It's okay. So you didn't hear. Okay. So the feeling I got was, what was I? Let me try and remember. Fuck, what was I saying? Fucking psychic amnesia. Let me see if just looking at your question will help me. Oh, yes. So can you hear me now? Am I still buffering? The feeling I got was that you're getting information from your guides, you're getting information from your loved ones, and you're getting information from your higher self. So it's not your subconscious, it's your higher self. Perfect. So the feeling I get is what you need to do is not ask me for validation about those things, but put out to them, like, send me validation. Okay, I got this information. Validate that what I got is correct. Validate that I heard you correctly. And you're going to hear it. Either a song is going to come on and be like, oh my God, I totally got it. Or you're going to hear a video about it. Or I'm going to randomly talk about something on here, but it's not a direct question. It's another way that the universe will show you, or you'll have a conversation with somebody and they'll be like, did you know that your grandmother used to do all of these things? And you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And she totally wrote me that, right? So it feels like it has to come through in this really like supernatural, organic way, rather than like, Anna, validate all of this stuff for me. But it doesn't feel like your subconscious, which to me is like this lower stuff. It feels like your higher self. Okay. Okie doke. So Tiara, are you here? Are you here? If not, I'm going to refund your money. Or, I don't know. Maybe I can send you an email and see if you want to be on first on the list for next week. Yawn. Is everybody well? There's only a few of you here left. But I'm so proud of you for sticking with me and listening. This is long. And I don't know that I would stay with somebody for this long. I got to be honest. So kudos and God bless you. So just take it in your brother's name. I got to be honest with you, I've never done a lot of automatic writing because one, I didn't know how to validate it when I started trying to do it. And then I just kind of grew my abilities in a different way. So that to me, like, so when I first started, my friend Lena was like, hey, like, what do you do? Like, when we first think, and I was like, I don't know. I don't do anything. I just hear things. I see things and I have dreams that come true. And she's like, you need to start doing readings. You could try tarot. And I was like, I don't trust that. Like, there's too many, like, whatever, chance variable. Like, I haven't really even gotten to tarot until like now, when I've been doing this professionally as a psychic for 13 years. Like, because I was like, as my therapist said, you like to just jump into the deep end. I'm like, yes, I do. So it was like, sort of like, I picked what would be the hardest, because if there was something real there, then I would trust it more coming from this way. So the writing thing, I think, again, it would be like, I feel like my left brain was coming in too much so I get that people do it and it works for people beautifully. It's just like not ever been something I've done. But what they're telling me is that it is like, it's a combination of them. Tiara, are you here? I'm going to have to say goodnight. I've waited a few minutes. I know that there's a delay, but maybe you bounced out because you were like, this is so long. So I will email you if you happen to jump in and watch this. I will email you and ask you if you want me to refund your money or if you would like me to put you on the list for, like, I've got Kansas Girl as first on the list for next week. I can put you on second list for the list next week so that you're right at the beginning and you don't miss out again. All right. So KK, you are a godsend. I love you. Thank you so much for sticking here. Everybody who's still here, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you guys. I hope that you have lovely weeks. Spend the week doing some inner work and see how your life shifts. I will see you next Sunday. If you're in America, yes, it's Memorial Day weekend, but I only have plans on Saturday, so we're good. Have a good week. Good night.